A very good morning to all my dear students. We'll be doing the second part, the remaining part of the lesson, The Adventures of Toto. Let's start. When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given a comfortable home in the stable, where he had for a companion the family donkey Nana. On Toto's first night in the stable, grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. To his surprise, he found Nana without apparent cause, pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head as far as possible from a bundle of hay. Halter means a strap or loop placed around the head of a horse. So, the writer's grandmother finally came to know of Toto's presence in the house and she accepted him. She allotted him space in the stable along with the family donkey Nana. On the first night in the stable, grandfather visited Toto. He found Nana restless, pulling its rope in order to stay away from the heap of hay. So, when he watched Nana, he found that he's kind of restless there. He's not ready to stay at one place and he was just detaching itself from the heap of hay. Grandfather gave Nana a slap across her haunches and she jerked back, dragging Toto with her. He had fastened onto her long ears with the sharp little teeth. Toto and Nana never became friends. Haunches. The word haunches, which means back. Fastened. Fastened means lock. So, grandfather hit Nana on the back in order to stop it. That what's actually happening. Nana jumped back with a jerk, and what grandfather saw? Grandfather saw Toto. What Toto did? Toto had locked on to the ears of Nana with his sharp little teeth. A great treat for Toto during cold winter evenings was the large bowl of warm water given to him by grandmother for his bath. He would cunningly test the temperature with his hand, then gradually step into the bath, first one foot, then the other, until he was into the water up to his neck. So in winter season, Nana really enjoyed having a warm bath. He would pretend to be selfish and before starting his bath, he would check the temperature of the water. He was so clever that he would check the temperature of the water, whether he would be comfortable in that water or not. He had sometimes watched the writer while bathing, so he would copy the writer, stepped into the tub 1 foot at a time, and then both the foot into the water, and he would sit in the water with his face out of it. He would rub himself with soap, and when the water became cold, he would run out of it to the stove in the kitchen in order to dry himself. Toto got annoyed if anybody would laugh upon him. He would get hurt and then refuse to take bath. So there is an incident when Toto had almost boiled himself. A large kitchen kettle had been left on the fire to boil for tea, and Toto, finding himself with nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid. Finding the water just warm enough for a bath, he got in with his head sticking out from the open kettle. This was just fine for a while, until the water began to boil. Toto then raised himself a little, but finding it cold outside, sat down again. He continued hopping up and down for some time until grandmother arrived and hauled him half boiled out of the kettle. So this is one of the incident where Toto had almost boiled himself. In a large kettle, water was boiling on the stove. Toto climbed up the stove and removed the lid from it, the top part of the stove. He felt that the water was warm enough for him to take a bath. It was winter season, so he found the water warm enough to have a good bath. He entered the kettle with his head out of it. So he was in the starting he was kind of enjoying, but slowly and slowly when the water started to boil, it became too hot for Toto. He at once thought of coming out of the kettle, but as the temperature outside was cold for him, he thought of remaining inside it. He stayed in it. So, Toto kept on jumping in the kettle for a while. And then at that moment, the grandmother arrived and she took the half-boiled monkey out of the kettle. So that particular day, he had almost boiled himself. If there is a part of a brain devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. He was always tearing things to pieces. Whenever one of my aunts came near him, he made every effort to get hold of her dress and tear a hole in it. So, Toto was so mischievous, he was so naughty that if there is a part in our brain that governs our ability to create mischief, then that part in Toto's brain was highly developed as he had great capacity to do mischief. And whenever the writer's aunts passed him, he always made a hole in their dress, he would tear their dresses. One day, at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with rice. This is another incident that shows that Toto was totally a mischievous monkey. My grandmother screamed and Toto threw a plate at her. One of my aunts rushed forward and received a glass of water in the face. When grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish of pulao and made his exit through a window. So one day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. The writer and others entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with rice. He was eating it all. My grandmother screamed aloud and suddenly Toto threw a plate at her. One of his aunts rushed forward and received a glass of water in the face. So he threw a glass of water on the aunt's face. We found him in the branches of the jackfruit tree, the dish still in his arms. He remained there all afternoon, eating slowly through the rice, determining on finishing every grain. And then, in order to spite grandmother, who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree and chattered with delight when it broke into 100 pieces. So, the meaning of spite is a desire to hurt or annoy. Chattered means the sound made by the monkey. So, when grandfather arrived to see that Toto was stuffing himself with the rice and he was creating mischievous things, he was throwing plates, glasses on grandmother and the aunt, he picked up the dish of pulao and made his exit through a window. The whole day he remained there in the jackfruit tree, slowly and slowly eating the dish, eating the rice, and determined on finishing every grain. So whole afternoon he kept on eating slowly, enjoying. And in order to annoy grandmother, in order to spite grandmother even more, because she had screamed at him, he threw the dish, he threw the plate he was carrying on his hand from the up down from the tree and chattered with delight. He made a happy sound, he made a happy noise. He was so happy when it broke into 100 pieces. Now, the writer Ruskin Bond recollects another incident. Here it goes. Obviously, Toto was not the sort of pet we could keep for long. So, here the writer wants to say is Toto was not the kind of the animal who could be kept at home, because they could not afford losing things every now and then. Sometimes costly dishes are being thrown, glasses are broken into number of pieces, their plaster, their wallpaper on the wall is coming out, the animals there, the other animals were getting annoyed. Even grandfather realized that Toto was not the kind of a animal that can get at home. We were not well to do and could not afford the frequent loss of dishes, clothes, curtains and wallpaper. So Ruskin Bond says that their family was not so well to do that they could afford to lose things every now and then, every single day, every single time. Dishes, clothes, curtains, wallpaper. So at last they decided mutually that Toto should be given back to the Tonga driver. So grandfather found the same Tonga driver and sold Toto back to him for just 3 rupees. At last we have message of the lesson, the adventures of Toto. The instinctive characteristics of a living being are generally difficult to change, and trying to do so is very painful for the animal or bird. It is necessary to respect every creation of God and allow them to live the way that has been prescribed for them by the Almighty. Animals thrive better in their natural habitat. One should not keep animals as pets unless one has adequate information and skill to train and handle them. So, there are certain characteristics that living beings generally possess, and we cannot change it. Even if you try forcefully to change, it's become impossible because it's instinctive characteristic. And if you try to do so, then it will become very painful for the animal or the bird. It's also very necessary to respect every creature created by the God. And you must allow them to live in their own way. Because animals live better in their natural surroundings. Like we as human beings, we want freedom, we want free life, we want to live our life freely and happily. Similarly, animals also want to live in their natural habitat, and we as human beings should allow them to live freely. Like we want freedom, they also want freedom. Lastly, one should not keep animals as pets unless one has adequate information and skill to train and handle them. And most importantly, that if one has decided to own a pet, it's very, very important to gather information about that particular pet you want to own, the skill one should have, because you are taking responsibility of a creature. You are adding a member to your family. So the pet becomes your responsibility. In your homework portal, you will see second assignment from the same lesson, The Adventures of Toto. I've given you few questions. The word limit should be 100 to 120 words. You will stick to the word limit like I've always told you previously also, and now also I'm telling you that whenever word limit is given, just stick to it. Thank you.